And welcome back to another edition of the Thompson's Comic Corner. And I am here live with George from Shortbox Summary.
Hi. Thanks for having me back.
Yes, sir. Now, George, tell everybody what we are reading today.
Today we are reading Spider-Woman from 2015. It is written by Dennis Hopeless, penciled and colored by Javier Rodriguez, inked by Alvaro Lopez, lettered by VC's Travis Lanham, and I think there's actually another colorist in the later issues. Um, Rachel Rosenberg is the other colorist. And this is, like I said, from 2015. Start of a new volume is the first 5 issues. It is covered in a trade paperback called Baby Talk.
Have you ever
And
read this before?
no, this is from an era of comics where I wasn't reading really. I kind of fell out of comics in like 2012 because I was really pissed off at 2 things. I did not like the New 52, and I did not like Fear itself as an event from Marvel. I thought that book was really, really boring and pointless and expensive, like just to keep up with everything.
I had never heard of it until you just said something.
It sucks. I love the creative team. It's Matt Fraction and Stuart Immonen are like the two main people on the main book. But it was just like such a big event and crossed over into everything I was reading at the time from Marvel, and I just like didn't have a very good time. And DC's New 52 took away some of my favorite characters, and I just thought tonally was a miss for me. So I just kind of took a break from comics for a couple years. It wasn't until DC's Rebirth in 2016 that I came back. So this book being from 2015, I read Secret Wars or some of Secret Wars as it was coming out. But I was mostly not reading comics, so this is from a total blind spot for me. So thank you for putting it on my radar.
Yeah, and you had asked before we started recording why I chose this. Well, I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you why. This was completely random, and you can thank Marvel Unlimited. Again, we're not plugged by them, but hey, if they want to sponsor me, I'm cool with it. Pay my
Mhm.
9.99.
Yeah.
I accidentally clicked on this and saw the cover and was like, all right, whatever. Exit out of it, continued reading what I was supposed to be reading. And then I go to my continue reading and I keep seeing this damn cover. And I'm like, you know what? Why is she pregnant and why is she still fighting crime? So today, that's why we're discussing this. And this is actually really, really fun. And I highly recommend for people that if you just want to read something, if you got like an hour and you want to read something just fun, just like a nice palate cleanser, this would be it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I had to shut off part of my brain for reading this. And like, I'm not saying that like the oh, shut off your brain and it's enjoyable. That's not what I'm saying. The comic book nerd in me was frustrated a little bit when I was reading this, just because it really starts, what's that term? In media res, right? Like it starts in the middle of a story
Pretty much, yes.
where I was frustrated because I'm just like, wait, when did she become friends with Ben Urich and they opened the detective agency together? Who the hell is this porcupine guy that she's
See, I was
working
really
with?
hoping that you had read this before and you could answer all those questions. So we're just gonna
No.
throw those questions right out the
No,
window.
sure didn't. I looked up comic book reading guides to try to figure out if I missed something because like I was there with Jessica Drew's return, right? Like she first sort of came back into prominence in 2005's New Avengers, right? And then she
Yes.
became really important as we go into Secret Invasion. And then she was kind of around with the was it Heroes Reborn or Heroic Age is what they called it. Like, that was like the new publishing initiative after Civil War, Secret Invasion, whatever names they have for things, just like oh all the like the way DC does like All In or something, right? Um, and so Heroic Age was there, and she was still around, but like man, I just had no idea how she got to where she was here. And I thought the point of this book was to answer that. And I'm guessing that happens further down the line to answer a couple of questions because it wasn't really answered. One thing was answered here. We figure out who she's pregnant with
Who did you think it
in this
was?
book.
Who did you think it was?
I didn't think it was anyone, to be honest. Like, I didn't think this was like a Jessica Jones, Luke Cage situation, right?
Ah,
I didn't think it would be like I didn't think Tony would be the dad, which like he had a funny moment in this book, but I didn't think it was a hero. Like, I thought if anything it would be a nobody or what ended up happening. I'm like, oh, that I guess makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping that it was going to be some like drama, but you could just tell by the tone of the book that it was not going to be.
No.
But I will say this though, from my wife, so we have a lovely, soon to be 8-year old. Um, the parts where Jessica's going through like the maternity leave and being bored and everything, and like how all that goes down, like her just normal side of it, that's pretty
Mhm.
much how my wife was. She was bored over it, needed something to do. So
Yeah.
like they hit that pretty well, like the whole pregnancy part. But again, I was really hoping that it was going to be somebody. I was actually hoping it was a villain. I don't know why. I don't care who it
Oh,
was going to be. I just wanted like the dad to be a villain, and then that sets us up for the next part, and then we have like a really juicy custody battle. But we didn't
that's
get that.
fun. And like there's like degrees of villains, right? Like I don't think you're saying like you wanted like Absorbing Man to be the dad or something, right?
No,
Like
like
not
Boomerang.
sure, yeah, like a more playful, fun villain who's in it for the love of the game, and just like
Yeah,
anti-establishment more than someone like with a politicized agenda, right?
yeah. I just wanted it to be like somebody goofy that would make a lot of like not sense, but make a lot of sense.
Boomerang is a super fun pick. I don't know that character incredibly well, just seen him in a couple Spider-Man books here and there. I'm like, oh, he's fun.
He was Peter Parker's roommate at one point.
Yeah, him and Robbie, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's about as far as I go. And
Yeah,
that he was like
same.
a former baseball player, I think.
Yeah, which is super cool. I mean, Macho Man Randy Savage was a former baseball player. Love that intro for people into a different athletic career.
Now,
But
I had never
this
read.
book is good,
Oh,
man. Like before we get further, like this book is really good.
yeah, and I was just about to say, I have never read a Jessica Drew book. Like I had never read Spider-Woman by it like herself. Like she had like her own run in what, like the late 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
I had never read that. I mean, I pretty much just know her from the run that we did on your show, Short Box Summary. Go listen to it. Where we talk about like the new Avengers, and that's really all that I'm more exposed to. Like I know who she is and everything, but um this story arc, man, like her character, like she is so much fun and she's feisty and she's a badass. And I wish that she got more love than what she does get because again, like I read comic books every day and I had never read one of her books solo
Right.
until, reading it for the show. And that's a shame.
Yeah, I think she started off in a book called Marvel Spotlight. I want to say it was like issue 32 or something, right? Which I'm pretty sure was like an anthology book. And then in 1978, I think, is when the first issue of Spider-Woman proper came out. But there was her, and then they like did like I think it's Jess Carpenter was like another Spider-Woman, and then in the early 2000s there was just kind of like an explosion from there, where like we got was it Anya Corazon, who is like Aranya, right? Like that was like a book that was happening that was like aimed at like younger adults um, in the early 2000s, and then we got Silk, we got Spider-Gwen, and it just kind of seemed like Jessica Drew was kind of forgotten and left by the wayside.
Well, to be honest, though, I mean, all those characters are pretty much all lost to the wayside. I mean, Spider-Gwen gets a book, but I like Stephanie Phillips, but I personally don't care for her last two runs. I've
Oh,
tried. I've
I
tried.
I liked her most recent run, especially like that final arc with like Green Goblin and Mysterio. I thought was pretty awesome. I was a fan of that one. But yeah, it just kind of seems like they think the character is cool, which like admittedly, like Spider-Gwen's costume is sick, right? Like it's just a cool looking character. And the drama, I guess, of having like a version of Gwen that survived is really good, but like that's Peter's thing. That's not her thing. And so it's just like, what does she mean on her own? I feel like it's a difficulty
Yeah, and they
with
always put
that
her in the
character.
damn 616. Like they keep bringing her back into the main continuity. Nah, put her on her own world, let her have her thing, and quit bringing her into the city. We don't need it.
Yeah.
You already have too
Especially
many spider people.
well, especially when you have a character like Jessica Drew who can contribute to like the greater conversation of spider themed superheroes in New York, right? Like
Exactly. And she's a badass. 100%. There is no doubt this woman is 36 weeks pregnant and she's out there killing all the scrolls. Scrolls, right? Yeah.
Girls, yeah. Yeah, man, she's cool. One thing that I am gonna push back on a little bit about this book in particular, Jessica Drew's great. I feel like this character owes so much of her tone and attitude to, I mentioned her earlier, Jessica Jones, right? Like that Alias book from
Yep.
early 2000s from Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Gaydos. I can't remember who the artist was. I think it was Gaydos. But like so much of that just like rough around the edges. Like I think Jessica Drew is like way more refined as a character, like way smoother on the edges than Jessica Jones was. And she has like that spy shield background training, right? Which is like that was what brought her into the new Avengers. Like she was supposed to be like a liaison between Shield and the Avengers. And so she's a bit more developed isn't the right word, but like a bit more put together, I think, as a person than Jessica Jones was. But like tonally, it's very similar. So I think if you're a fan of that book and like those characters, you should absolutely check this book out.
Yeah, and she has a really badass character design. I'm all about character designs.
Yeah.
And like, yes, she is, as I said, 36 weeks pregnant, but her character design's badass. So we just gotta,
It's super cool because it's like she was very much a superhero when she came back in the mid
right,
2000s, right? And here it's like way more like tactical looking. Where like I don't know, man, she looks like a spy who's like running a marathon at
right. I
points,
was just about
right?
to say she looks like a badass spy with those glasses.
Mhm. Yeah.
So our story is pretty much I'm just gonna give you the 2 cents. This is she's pregnant, she goes to a space hospital,
Uh-huh.
shit goes south, gives birth. That's our cut and dry, that's our 2 cents. Now we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes. This is all Captain Marvel's fault, and it's not even her fault.
It's not her fault. I get why it's her fault, but it's really not her fault. You're 100% right. I love how loved Jessica is in this book. Like everyone who knows Jessica really cares about her. There's like one scene in the first issue where she's like having a baby shower and it's just like a huge party and it's just like how often do you get to see all these people in the same like panel, let alone page, let alone book, let alone month, right? And like they're not trying to save the world from something. Like they were all in the same room, they were all celebrating Jessica being pregnant. And it was great just seeing like Spider-Man and Iron Man and the Fantastic Four and Cap and everyone together to celebrate something good. I really enjoyed that. She is very, very cared for, and she's so cared for that Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, wanted her to have access to the best medical facility in the galaxy. So with her credentials at Alpha Flight or whatever, she took her to like a transporter that took her to this intergalactic hospital and where she would receive the best care from a 3,000-year-old doula with multiple hands or whatever she said to put her at ease and think that her birth is going to be safe and pleasant.
And yes, she does end up going to the. It's pretty much she does it just out of boredom.
Yeah.
Like she really just wants to go check it out, and she makes an appointment.
Yeah,
Like
you mentioned her maternity leave. It's a month of her just being like, "What the fuck am I supposed to do with my life?"
yeah, like she's watched all the TV shows, she's ate all the ice cream. Like
Mhm.
she's over it,
Yeah.
and she decides that hey, I'm just gonna make a trip up to here. I'm gonna check it out, see how it is, and everything goes to hell in a handbasket within like 5 pages. And I'm not really, so I've never really read Secret Invasion. So I'm not
Okay.
really all that familiar with the scrolls. And I understand that Captain Marvel is like half scroll, right? Technically, Carol Danvers.
Cree, but yeah.
Okay. Is it the same thing?
No.
Okay, good. Because I didn't know that.
The Skrulls are at war with the Kree. That is like their general. It's a little different now. There's like an uneasy alliance, but like for most of Marvel's history, Kree and the Skrull just hate each other, and
Okay.
they're like World War II is happening in the galaxy between these two alien factions, and Earth is usually not involved until it is. Like there's the Kree Skrull War is like a big famous Marvel comic book event. It was like 8 issues in Avengers back in like the 80s, 90s issues of Avengers. Like I think it was Neil Adams era on the book, and so like that was like a big deal. And but like now it's all complicated because of that book Empire, which is better left under discussed.
So we have Jessica going. She goes up there. She's getting checked out. She's in the waiting room. And while all this is going down, we find out later that there is a prince for the scrolls that is has cancer, and that's where he's at, and they're trying to break him free.
Mhm.
And while all this is going down, their plan is to break him free, take him with them, and then blow it everything up.
Yeah, he's the heir to the Skrull throne, and they want to take him and basically stage a coup against the current Skull hierarchy. And man, I really cared about that kid. I don't know about
Yeah, I
you.
loved him. He was such a good character, and like we don't get anything. I didn't really see anything else about him, but I really love him in those issues. Like it was so he's such an adorable kid.
He's endearing as hell, man. And like, I don't know if you saw, there's this one movie called It's Kind of a Funny Story.
Nope.
Okay, it's a movie about this kid who like checks himself into like a mental health hospital because like he thinks he's suicidal. And then he hangs out like with these people, but it's like it's him and there's this other girl there who's like roughly his age. And it's just kind of like he learns about like appreciate like oh like life is great when you have someone to care about, you know, and like life is great when someone cares about you. Like it's just like seeing a kid in that hospital situation, just like learning about life and like seeing him in this hospital and like the world he's made for himself as someone who's in a terrible position of like having cancer at such a young age, but like the way he's like endeared himself to the staff, to the actual hospital, to like the computer program that's like running the whole thing. Like it was just like, oh, like what a sweet special kid. And like they do that in like maybe 4 pages, right? Like the economy of storytelling in this book is really impressive from Hopeless and Rodriguez.
Yeah, it's he's such an adorable damn character, man. And like he risks everything to save Jessica. Jessica risks everything to save him. It's adorable. Like it
Yeah.
really like I can't get over the fact that like, some of the books that we've read on here, they've either been really good and hard ass and tough, or they've been bad and bland. And like this book is just so much joy
Yeah.
and it's just fun. And
Well,
I hope when like the listeners actually like go out and go read this, we're telling you to go read it. Um, when they do read it, they have fun with it. Like we literally watch Jessica grow as like a mother character because she even says it like she never wanted kids and like that was not her. And then we find out at the end that she changed her mind. We're not going to ruin that. I want to keep that as a suspenseful,
yeah.
even though we both kind of figured out where that was going. But it's not Boomerang, but I wish it was.
Yeah.
Um,
So
and while all this is going down, Captain Marvel's trying to get to her, but she can't. Like she can't because they're in a damn black hole. Which I
that
mean,
was a sick reveal, by the way, of
yeah,
like
I
where
wasn't
the
prepared
hospital
for that.
was. Yeah.
So and that was, I'm cool with that. And like she couldn't get to her, and then Jessica has to find all these ways to like beat the shit out of the scrolls and sneak around. And it's really good. Like there's nothing I don't really have a bad thing to say about the book at all. Like I really enjoyed it, and I hope you did, and I hope you understand that this might not be like your I need three solid innings. This was about I need like a good three pitch count right here,
Mhm.
and that this will not be the last one that I give you that's obscure and you ask and scratch your head, why are we reading this?
Oh no, see, like I would actually go the other way. I'm like, oh, this isn't a baseball. Like this is a Savannah Bananas game, right? Like the way you were talking about the joy in this book, and I think Javier Rodriguez deserves so much credit. The art in this book is absolutely incredible, and like the art is having fun. Like there's one sequence where Jessica has to like make her way through one of the hospital. Basically, Skrulls come in, they take everyone hostage. They're trying to get this kid out, but like the kid is in like a really protected area, so like it becomes a heist story for the Skrulls, right? And Jessica Jones is sorry, Jessica Drew is in like the waiting room with these other pregnant women. Two Skrulls come in, she incapacitates them in really sick, awesome ways. And then she's like protecting these pregnant women, but like she's pregnant too. She just has this training and she's able to call Carol and like catch her up on what's going on. And so like she is the only person who's like capable of saving the day because of her spy training. So like she gets everyone into like this really secure operating room, and then it's just like, oh, we need to do this so we can like let Carol Danvers into the facility. It's like, oh, you have to go all the way to the other side. It's like, but there's so many scrolls, you have to take the scenic route. And so like you see her navigate this like impossible building that's like made between like a fusion of science and magic and weird alien technology that you can't even like begin to understand how or why it works. But it's like a giant single like splash page of her like navigating a room, and you just see like probably six figures of Jessica Jones as she's making her way through this giant obstacle. And just stuff like that is fun. Like it's playing with the medium and like trusting you to understand the story, but it's like giving you that trust, which is fun to be like taken seriously as a reader, to like follow along with what's actually happening. Like you said, joy. So like if we're doing like the baseball metaphor that we've been doing for the past couple episodes, yeah, man, this is Savannah Bananas. Like the amount of times like someone will catch a line drive and then do a backflip or whatever. Like that's what it felt like reading this book.
And talking about sort of like how the Savannah Bananas and how they have all these crazy characters, we almost forgot, like we haven't really talked about Porcupine. And I actually really like his character. I was introduced to him. I had no idea who he was, but not so much as the Porcupine character itself. Let's talk a little bit about Roger.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Because you're right. It is like two different people technically inhabiting the same body, right? Because like Porcupine is set up almost like a Daredevil-esque hand-to-hand combat vigilante type person. But that's Porcupine. And I agree, Roger is way more interesting. So take it away. Tell me about Roger.
So we get introduced to Roger as he's babysitting um Spider-Woman's kid, Jessica's kiddo, and she's like so terrified. She literally thinks he's like gonna let the house burn down with the baby.
Yeah.
And she comes back and like he's got everything cleaned up, the baby's asleep, and he's like, "You're gonna wake the baby." He's doing
Mhm.
dishes, he's got the apron on, and she's literally laying on like her couch, and she's like, "How did you do this?" Like I'm literally struggling. I can't get the baby to be chill. Like I can't get him to sleep. And you've literally been here for 3 hours and my house looks great. Like, how did you do it? And he was like, "Hey, man." He's like, "I had to learn on the fly." He's like,
Yeah.
"I get it." And he's like, "And I also have many years of experience doing this." He was like, "It takes time." And
Well,
like
that and
being a
he
parent, I
he said he was on like
understand that.
house arrest, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, he said he was on
yeah.
house arrest. So he had to, and his wife worked. So like he had to, figure it out on his own.
Mhm.
So like I get it. Trust
No,
me.
this moment was really sweet to me, but like I don't have kids. Like I've never had a child. You've had a child. Do you want to talk a little bit about just like the first time you like left your kid with someone who wasn't you or your wife and like what that was like?
So for my wife, that was literally like Armageddon.
Hmm.
Like it was like her whole world was imploding and she was
Yeah.
terrified. I was cool with it. Like
Hmm.
I get it. Like I trust people more than, you know, like I'm a very trustful person. Like I will always trust people unless you give me a reason not to, especially like if we're close. You know what I
Right.
mean? But like,
Yeah.
so this instance right here, though, Roger saying like I can actually piggyback off this part where Roger is like saying, "Hey, I was on house arrest." So when my wife like first came home, so like we were in the hospital for a week, and then that whole next week, my wife was like deathly sick. Like, I mean, she was really sick. And it was just me and my son. And, my wife works in like teaching. So like she kind of knows what she's doing with kids. Me,
Right.
I have no clue. So for me, it was a whole learning curve. And I'm like, man, like I'm responsible for you, dude. Like I'm looking at him and I'm like, it's me and you. And it was such a bonding moment. And my wife always like talks about like how like awesome it was to see me do that because I was terrified as a new parent. Like I tried to play that off, but like being a new parent and like you have no idea. Like I didn't like holding other people's babies. Like I didn't want to be
Hmm.
responsible for that. And it's like, dude, I can't give you back. You're mine. So like I 100% and I know how overwhelming babies can be. And this book actually spoke to me a lot as like a parent. So like I understand, like I feel the emotions that they feel, especially in issue 5. I
Right.
feel all of those emotions.
Well, I think it's really important too to talk about this. Like I said, I've never had a kid, but like I've had several people in my life who've had kids. And like I don't think what Jess was going through was like postpartum depression or anything, right? Like when like her feelings of being overwhelmed, I don't think it was like that, which is a very serious medical condition. Like I'm not trying to diminish that in any way, but like it wasn't that. It was, I think, it's just her going through it on her own and feeling overwhelmed and just like, how could I possibly do all this? On top of like the drama of her being a private detective, a superhero, a super spy, like someone who like Captain America has on speed dial in his phone, right? Like she's living this like exceptional, crazy life, and she's doing something that is so time consuming for someone who doesn't have all this extracurricular shit going on.
Yeah, and like she even talks about it. She's like, I don't know if I'm gonna go back.
Hmm.
No, I mean, eventually, yeah, she does go back. I mean, or we would just end the series there. I mean,
I
there'd be
mean,
no point.
Ben Urich kind of tricks her into it, right? When he just like mentions like something about a case that's like, yeah, we're still stumped on this, and then she immediately starts like, well, have you thought about this? Then he pulls like the research he started for that, and then like just hook, line, and sinker, she's back into
Right.
it.
Which, and like you could just see it in her eyes. She's like, damn it. Like
Hmm.
I will say the art in this book is very emotional. And like
Yeah.
you really do feel like what these characters feel. And it, I really think that we might have to read another chapter of this.
I'm into it. I'm a little skeptical just because Javier Rodriguez, I think, is off the book after these opening 5 issues, and I think his artwork is really important to what I enjoyed so much about these first 5 issues. Like, it feels Kirby-esque in the way that it's like super primal, basic presentations that make you feel so much when you look at it, right? Like they look simple, but I know that to make something look simple, you have to be like beyond expert level, right? To like leave something looking plain, but like it takes years and years and years of expertise to do something like that. And so he did a great job of like balancing scale and weird and all this stuff. But like issue 5 is really special because it's basically like a montage issue, right? Where it's just her going through probably like 15 different scenes, right? Like it feels like a bunch of like 2-page vignettes of her life after giving birth to her son. And it's just her dealing with life, like normal life stuff about just a woman who just had a baby, but also detective stuff, superhero stuff, friends stuff. Like all this shit is just like rolled up into a giant burrito. And you're just like, how did you do this? Like, how are you
Right.
doing this? But like his art makes it look so easy and like frictionless. Like it's so easy to consume these like deep, intense topics. And I'm not dogging the next artist. I'm sure the next artist is eminently qualified to do what they were asked to do. But like, man, there's just something so special about Javier Rodriguez. I would be super open to checking out the next chapter just because of that.
Well, and also, so you talk about issue 5. That was the issue that we had Rachel Rosenberg on,
Hmm.
and the colors just pop so much in
Yeah.
this issue. Like I'm flipping through it right now on Marvel Unlimited, plugging in,
Yeah.
and like everything, like you said, it's just so seamless, and everything's just so pretty. So issue 5 is definitely my favorite, even though I really like issue 1 too. Issue 1 and issue 5. And I've always believed that when you do it that way, like when you write for the trade, issue 1 needs to be your hook, line, sinker. You could get away with a subpar issue 2. Issue 3 better be good. 4 better be decent. And 5 better hit me in the mouth. All 5 issues in this actually were pretty much bangers. There was really no filler.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
So,
I'd agree with that. Especially because
yeah.
like the main story is the first 4 issues, and then 5 is kind of not an epilogue, but like an epilogue to Hopeless and Rodriguez together, right? Like that was
Yeah.
them saying goodbye to each other or whatever. But like the first 4 issues were really special because like it was just like a super tight, concise heist story. And I actually like I'm thinking here like we don't do this normally, but I'm like, oh, issue 1 great, issue 4 special, issue 5 incredible. Like I'm not like trying to rank the issues and like tier list out the issues that we read,
Right.
but like it's kind of hard not to just because like each issue did something pretty unique and pretty special. Like just in terms of like the visuals I was seeing and the way Hopeless like scripted Jess moving through this crazy world in a way Rodriguez brought this crazy world to life. It was just oh man, like I thought I didn't like Hopeless as a writer just based on like a few books I read, but I'm like, ah shit, I need to revisit other books to see if I was wrong because this was special, man. Like this was a fun, good book. And again, Savannah Bananas baseball. Like, like
Pretty much.
catching a
Yeah,
line
that's
drive, doing a backflip, throwing someone out at home. Like it was just crazy, weird shit happening constantly in a pretty fun pace.
yeah, I really like the Prince of the Scrolls. He was a fun character. He was so, I don't know how to put like heartwarming, I
Yeah,
guess
no,
would be the
he's
way.
super endearing. And there was that one scene where like you think he's actually betraying Jessica, right? And you're like, oh man, he gives up because he doesn't believe in Jessica being able to follow through on what she said she would do for him. And then he totally just like flips it on the scrolls. And you're like, oh, this kid rocks. Like this kid
Yeah.
is smart. This kid is cool.
Yeah, it was this was definitely if we're gonna put it in baseball terms, this was probably a home run.
Yeah.
I definitely am very happy that Marvel Unlimited just made me click the wrong cover, and here we are.
Man,
And
I'm jealous, man. When I click the wrong thing on Marvel Unlimited, I'm reading a Silver Sable mini series from the early 90s. Man, I haven't come across gas like this in a minute by accident on Marvel Unlimited. So
well,
good on you.
the art and then the Silver Sable books are fantastic. I don't
Oh,
know
in
much about
19
the story, but
in 1993, incredible. Yeah, it's great stuff.
yes.
Like it's cool revisiting the 90s, but this was a book I will remember for some time. So thank you for asking me to read it.
Yeah, this will definitely be on top of my recommendations. Normally when I do recommendations for the last comic shop, I always don't know what to do and I get so nervous.
Hmm.
And I really think that this will probably be on top of my list right now.
Yeah, whenever I'm supposed to do that, I always try first to think of a book that's relevant to what we just read, and I try to think of it like a double feature. We're like, oh, read this book, then read this book after for similar vibes or exact opposite vibes, whatever. But no, this is a great book, and it would totally just like, you should read Baby Talk, the Spider-Woman book by Hopeless and Rodriguez, because like it is just I don't know, it's like seeing like a 90-minute movie, and you're just like, damn, that was really good. Why don't we get more of these, you know?
Yeah, this was like a perfect, like I said before, just a really good palate cleanser between everything else that like we've read. Because I mean, Cap Wolf is its own flavor, and I mean, we did Infinite Crisis, and we did like really serious and heavy and dark books, and this one's just so lighthearted and fun.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
So, well, thank you for your time, George. As
Yeah.
always, you're always welcome over here in my little corner.
Well,
Um,
thank you for having me, Zach. I appreciate it.
so we just got to tell everybody since we collaborate all the time here, I have also recorded episodes for Short Box Summary where we get into the build up for Civil War. So here's the time for you to plug Civil War.
Oh yeah, I love your show because it is nonlinear, and we read Cap Wolf one week, we read Infinite Crisis another, we read Spider-Woman the next. We are jumping between characters, we are jumping between eras. I host a show called Short Box Summary, which is me going back in time to when I first got into comics, rereading what I read then to figure out if it was good or if I was 15. And I'm more or less going in order, trying to capture the major stories that were happening as they were happening in real time. And we are just catching up now to Civil War. And you and I have read several preamble stories that kind of set the stage for Civil War. So we are about to kick things off. Something really bad is about to happen in Stamford, Connecticut. And we are going to go through it all.
And I can't wait to go through it all, even the good times and the bad times.
We're going to read Thunderbolts, baby. That book looks like shit. I can't wait. You know?
I'm so excited. Yay. All right. Well, on a real note, again, thank you for being on the show. If you catch us live, we're on Outworld Fleet Radio. Check out Heritage Vintage. Great little shop. 10% off if you mention that you heard us on the radio.
or on the podcast, whatever, it doesn't matter. That they're real cool people. 10% off W, which is a great sugar-free energy if you use promo code TCC 2025 at checkout. Go listen to Short Box Summary. Go listen to the Toddcast, my boys from New Dimension Comics. Go listen to the Last Comic Shop podcast. I'm plugging everybody right now. Uh, that's it for right now. But hey, we're trying. Oh, Iron Age of Comics. Go listen to them. And as always, I hope you have a great day and peace out, Cub Scouts.